Hey guys, so we're just going to look at the quadratic equation x squared minus 8x plus 4. If we were to try to factor this trinomial, we would try to think of two numbers that multiply to positive 4 and add up to 8. There is no combination that does so, so one of the methods that we could use is the quadratic formula, which states x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So once we notice that we can't factor the quadratic, one of the methods is the quadratic formula, and we need to make sure that our trinomial is set equal to 0 like it already is. Once we see that it's set equal to 0, we need to identify our a, our b, and our c term. So our a term is the number in front of the x squared. In this case, it's a 1. Our b term is the coefficient in front of x, which is negative 8. And then our c term is a positive 4. It's our constant. We need to make sure also that our quadratic is in standard form, which is highest exponent down to the lowest. Once we identify our a, b, and our c, we could plug it right into the formula. So x equals negative. Our b term is negative 8. Please make sure you're plugging in a negative 8 if your b term is in fact negative, including that negative on the outside. So negative times negative 8 plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times our c term, all over 2 times our a term. So once we have the numbers substituted into our formula, from here we're just going to simplify. So x equals negative times negative 8 is a positive 8, plus or minus, we're going to bring down our radical symbol. From here, we want to type in only the numbers that are underneath the radical symbol. So I'm only going to type in what I'm highlighting right now. I'm going to type that into the calculator exactly how I see it. I have parenthesis, negative 8 squared minus 4 times our a times our c. And when I hit enter, we get 48, and I'm going to just take that 48 and put it right underneath our radical symbol. All over 2 times 1, which is 2. From here, what I want to do is simplify my radical if possible. So over on the side, I'm going to do the square root of 48. And I want to find two factors that go into 48, one being the largest perfect square. So again, I'm just going to show you how you can use your calculator to find those two numbers. We're going to hit our y equals button and type in 48 divided by x, and then use our table. Remember, we want to start when x is equal to 1. And once we have x is equal to 1, we're going to use the right-hand side, which is our y1 column, to start from the top to the bottom. And once we find our perfect square from top to bottom, that's going to be our largest. So 48 is not a perfect square, 24 is not a perfect square, but 16 is. So the numbers that we want to use is going to be 16 times 3. So we have the square root of 16 times the square root of 3. And when we take the square root of 16, we're left with 4 radical 3. So we're going to replace our 4 radical 3 with our radical 48. So x is equal to 8 plus or minus 4 radical 3 all over 2. From here, we want to solve the quadratic and tee it off. So we're going to tee it off. On the left, we have x equals 8 plus 4 radical 3 all over 2. On the right, we have x equals 8 minus 4 radical 3 all over 2. From here, we're going to simplify. And again, we could only simplify the numbers that I'm highlighting in blue. So we're going to take 8 divided by 2 to get 4. Bring down our plus sign. 4 divided by 2 to get 2 and attach that radical 3 with it. Then we have x equals 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Bring down our subtraction sign. 4 divided by 2, which is 2. Attach our radical 3 to it. So our answer is x equals 4 plus 2 radical 3 and x equals 4 minus 2 radical 3. You might also see it written like this: 4 plus or minus 2 radical 3. Either answer is acceptable. Thank you.